Sleep Token fans everywhere, myself included, are wondering what's going on with one of the world's most buzzworthy bands. This is a group that skyrocketed in success over the last year and a half, seemingly coming out of nowhere. But over the last several years, some pretty disappointing and downright weird things have happened. As always, when you build a global audience that's really loyal, really dedicated, highly enthusiastic, there are a few people that ruin it for the rest of us. So what happened over the weekend is apparently somebody leaked at least one member, 3 from Sleep Token's name and personal address. His birth certificate was reportedly posted online. Now, I'm not going to direct you to anything about that. I totally respect this band wanting to be anonymous. Of course, as many of you are probably going to comment, people know who these members are, but the fan base by and large has really, and the industry as well, has really respected their wishes to be anonymous. And I really hope they're able to continue this, and I'm rooting for them to continue this as well. Just because people know their names and stuff, there's still this significant air of mystery that surrounds the group. I don't really think they need to start doing interviews because of this, etc. But it looks like the situation was so weird and uncomfortable that 3 actually removed himself from social media. This has been something that's happening increasingly in recent weeks. You saw Noah Sebastian remove himself from social media as well. He's a person that's also dealt with a lot of weirdness. I've heard some pretty bad stories about what musicians have had to deal with in this sort of vein. So it was already enough where we saw 3 removed himself from social media and everyone is just upset because, again, small number of people ruin it for the rest of us, and now it looks like he doesn't feel comfortable being on social media, and that's a bummer because I do think they should be able to have social media. I don't think they necessarily need to, but now that he's gone, it does look like he was essentially chased off and just more trouble than it's worth, and that's a huge bummer. But also, now you have Sleep Token themselves wiping their socials and writing essentially nothing lasts forever. I want to jump to that page really quick and take a look at exactly what's going on, and then a little bit of the conversation. And as we're going to be doing more and more this year, we also have a very special guest joining us to talk about this that most of you will be familiar with, so stick around. But take a look at, this is what Sleep Token social media looks like right now. So look at this. Their account was wiped, and it says nothing lasts forever in the bio, no posts. And it's honestly surprising. This has also set the internet ablaze to the point that it's trending on social media. Let's just scroll through the old X, formerly known as Twitter, and see what people are saying. The Elder Emo writes, you know something? I really don't care who the members of Sleep Token are. Breaking, Hannah Montana confirmed to be Vessel from Sleep Token. Metalcore Clown Boy. Remember when Sleep Token used the album cover of Take Me Back to Eden 5 months before they even dropped a single and 6 months before they even announced the album? Perhaps the Teeth of God name for the upcoming tour has some more important meaning. The Sleep Token fan base of social media didn't exist. Sleep Token fans waiting for them to announce something so the crippling anxiety doesn't overtake their lives. Sleep Token deleting everything off Instagram to tweeting a YouTube link for Ascensionism. Hold on a second. Yeah, you've got 3 hours ago, Sleep Token posted the link to Ascensionism, and is that something that was, do they normally do that? No, it doesn't look like they really post a YouTube link, so something's going on. To dive into this further, I'm joined by my friend Finn McKenty from the Punk Rock MBA. You can check out his channel at the link in the description. Finn, what do you make of all of this?
Well, I don't know if I'm ready to call us friends yet, but thank you for having me on anyway. Man, it's weird as hell. It's weird as hell. I don't really know any other way to say it. I can't recall ever seeing this kind of like stalker kind of behavior ever before. I mean, obviously Slipknot, people would speculate about their identities and stuff like that back in the day on their GeoCities pages, but it felt like that was just kind of fun. Like, it didn't feel weird. And then, back in the emo era, people would write their fanfics about Gerard Way and Frank Iero and Panic at the Disco and stuff. And that was a little weird, especially when, it'd be like, when there would be the sexual stuff. But it still felt kind of harmless to me, this is the first time in the rock world that I can remember seeing something like this where I'm like, this is creepy and weird.
Yeah, I agree entirely. And it's very odd when you look at bands like Sleep Token and Bad Omens as well. And what's really stood out to me today is you see that 3 deleted his Instagram account after this whole thing with the birth certificate, which you just wonder what people are motivated by to do stuff like this.
That's my thing. It's like, what's the point? Like, I mean, you can Google their names and it's not hard to find. What's the point of posting his birth certificate? I mean, it's just bizarre.
It's really strange, and it goes against, social media policy. You're risking getting your account taken down when you're doing stuff like this. And
it might be illegal too. I don't know.
Yeah, and in some places it is illegal, but, particularly posting the person's address. But when you have this situation now where the band has wiped their socials, now we've seen this so many times where it may be taken as promotional, but for me it feels a little bit differently now because they're only about 1 year into the Take Me Back to Eden cycle. Do you think this is related? Because they're reclusive. They're famously reclusive people. Maybe they're just done with all this shit and they just want to go away for a while. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's hard to say. I feel like they've been actually pretty chill about their identities. Like I remember when they were on tour with Issues, they would walk around in their, stage outfits with their hoods off and stuff like that. This is back in 2019. So it's not like they've been sort of incredibly secretive about this. It's been like sort of an open secret. However, this is a new frontier of weirdness. And so, maybe it is. Maybe it's like, okay, like we've gotten ourselves in over our heads with this secret identity stuff. And, I don't know. I doubt it. I feel like they're probably, just gearing up for, some big event as bands do. But on the other hand, I mean, there's a reason that they've chosen to remain anonymous. And I don't think it's just for a gimmick. It seems like they legitimately don't really want to be public people. So maybe there is something to it.
And I wonder, I just also want to say on that thought, where this band, what's interesting about them is they don't really need social media in the way that other groups do because they have this air of mystery. If I was in their position, one of the things I would strongly consider is say, you know what, fuck the social media. We don't really need it anyways. It doesn't really serve us. And all that really does is deepen the mystery surrounding the band. You can't even get to them on the internet. Right. And then for their own mental health, they don't have to deal with these weirdos that are posting their home addresses online. I just can't get over how insane that is. And everybody to a certain degree has dealt with weirdness if you're on the internet, for sure. But I really feel bad for them. And you see Noah Sebastian from Bad Omens getting off as well because people seem to like him too much. And I think it's gotten to a level where it's probably made him very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think, obviously, and who wouldn't, he's talked about people, harassing his family members on Facebook and finding pictures of him when he was a little kid and stuff. And like, that's just across the line. And unfortunately, like I hear what you're saying about maybe they should just delete all their social media and just not even do that. But, unfortunately, I feel like that kind of only pours fuel on the fire of making them that much more reclusive and only makes people, want to dig up this information even more. But not their fault, obviously, but it's kind of like we just live in this era in which if you, and I mean, we've both had these experiences, but like if you put yourself out there on the internet as any kind of a public figure, it's sort of a roll of the dice if, some crazy person comes along and decides to take it too far.
I couldn't agree more. And Finn, as always, it's so great to hear from you. Everybody support him over at the Punk Rock MBA. Check him out on social media as well. Finn, always great to talk to you, brother.
Same to you.
So what really adds to all of this is the fact that we know so little about the members of Sleep Token. Whether you know their names or not, you still don't know very much. And you don't really need to know very much because they're an anonymous band. They want that art to speak for itself. But it's hard to make heads or tails of whether or not they're releasing new music, which would kind of come as a surprise because it's been less than a year since Take Me Back to Eden, and that's been a phenomenal success for them. But also, you don't know what some bands will do, how they'll react. Maybe they're breaking up. I would be shocked if that were the case. I don't think that's the case. But I do think it's entirely possible they were just like, yo, fuck this social media game. We're out of here. We don't need this. I think that's a real possibility. They might just be getting off of social media and just really, living in the moment, living in the real world. But I love Sleep Token. I hope they understand that 99% of their fans are cool people that support them and root for them, and it's just a small number of people that ruin it for the rest of us. But I want to know what you all think, as always, in the comments. That's most important to me. Let me know down below. And if you're new here at Rockfeed, welcome to the family. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button with notifications on for the latest news and updates right here from Rockfeed.